Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie, and now that Valentine's Day is over and it's probably a little bit too early to start with my St. Patrick's Day manis, I'm in the spring mood, so I have some beautiful new colors from West Coast Dips that they recently released. So this is just going to be a simple dip with me. I'll apply some nail art stickers, so if you want to see how I create this look, stick around and we'll get into it. Jumping right into it, these are two of the newest release colors. There was a huge release recently with so many beautiful dips that it was so hard to choose. But right here, I've got Still in Beauty. They were one of the first colors that I wanted to use because they are just so beautiful. They're kind of that pinky tone with the purple undertone, which is my favorite kind of pinks, and they are just so gorgeous. And I knew I wanted to do some sort of nail art accent nail, but I wasn't sure what I was going to use quite yet. So I grabbed Porcelain, which is a beautiful opaque white, as my base for the nail art. Since this is my only solid, I'm going to go ahead and start with that, and that's going to go on my ring finger and also be using my West Coast Dips dip base and activator, and I actually end up using my gel top coat at the end. Starting off with my dip process, I remove most of the excess liquid from my dip brush because I don't want too much liquid, and I will start with applying a thin even layer of dip base to my entire nail. I usually start about halfway, not quite towards my cuticle line, brush downwards towards my free edge and then up towards my cuticle area. And then once I've got the coverage I want, I'm going to go ahead and dip into my color. So you can see here I dipped twice just to make sure my dip base is fully absorbed. I want to make sure to clean around my cuticle area using my precision tool just to make sure I don't have any excess product on my skin, because that can cause lifting. And I have to say, I am picky about my whites because whites can become really chalky and difficult to work with. But Porcelain is just so easy. It's one of my favorite opaque whites to use. Just look at how beautifully it applied in one layer. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second layer of this as well. Before I went in with my second layer of dip base, I went ahead and dusted off the excess powder from my first layer using a dust brush because I don't want to gunk up my dip base brush with the excess powder. So you always want to make sure you're dusting off excess powder. And plus that helps with any bulkiness as well, to remove that before you go in with your second layer. Once my second layer is dry, I'm going to go ahead and dust off the excess powder again, because next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cap my nail in clear. Now this is my personal preference of, for a third layer, I like to use clear rather than a third layer of color. And that's just really to protect the color from filing and buffing, because I do tend to go a little ham sometimes when I file and buff. And I don't want to accidentally file through the color and have it look splotchy. So I'd rather protect it with a layer of clear. And I wasn't careful with this jar of clear, so there was some excess glitter in there. Normally I like to have a separate jar for my glitters and a separate one for my solids, but I did not with this, and this is exactly why I should, because I got a stray glitter on my solid nail, which kind of defeated the purpose, so of course I had to pick it out. And then once that's fully dry, I'm going to go ahead and scrub off the excess powder using a stiff scrub brush. You always want to use a stiff scrub brush when you're working with clear. And then once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and activate the nail. And the reason I won't go ahead and activate it is because the next colors I'm going to be using are solids and shimmers, and they won't stick to an activated nail. The next color I'm going to be using is Still, which is a beautiful shimmer, and this is one of the new colors that recently released. So I love this because my favorite shades of pink are ones that have a purple undertone, because I feel like with my skin tone, I really pull out the purple in them, and so, you know, I love purple, so these are really my favorites. I was so excited when West Coast Dips sent over this duo along with a bunch of other colors from the new release for me to use. I am an ambassador for West Coast Dips, so I do have a discount code. I'll leave that down below in the description, as well as a list of all the products I use. I just absolutely love her products, and her dips are just so beautiful and so easy to use. Just look at that coverage I've gotten with one dip. So I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup, but I'm actually wondering if this can be chromed, because it kind of leaves that sheen on my finger, which makes me believe it probably can be chromed, but even not chromed, it's just so beautiful. There are just way too many beautiful dips and not enough time or fingers to use them all, so I'm going to figure it out somehow, but it may take me a while. And speaking of that, let's chat a little bit about what's coming up for me. I don't know what that means. I don't know if anything will change, but just in case, I just do want to give you a heads up. So I think I've talked before about I've been with my company for 17 years. Obviously, I've had a lot of different roles. I absolutely love the role I'm in now. However, I did have a friend reach out to me about a role she knew about that was available in her business unit and urged me to apply. I had a couple other friends urge me to apply, and I was kind of like having imposter syndrome because it was a promotion at a director level and I wasn't sure if I could do it or not. But after a bunch of urging, because your friends probably know best, I went ahead and applied, and to my surprise I actually got the job. Which, the imposter syndrome is real. I'm a little freaked out by it, but what that means is I'm starting in about 3 weeks. So I've got a little time left, but I don't know what that's going to mean for my schedule, just because the time it takes and the energy it takes to learn a new job, especially because this role is a brand new role they created. So there's not even like a roadmap of like what I need to do. So I just don't know what that's going to mean for my free time and my energy. And I'm hoping I'll still be able to continue with my 2 uploads a week and then my Instagram posts. I'm going to stick with that for now. I'm not saying things are going to change. I'm just saying I'm not sure yet, and they might. It just depends on what that's going to look like, because this is a whole new role. It's a whole new business unit. So I'm just not sure what I'm getting myself into quite yet. I'm just a whole ball of mixed emotions at this point, because I am super sad to be leaving the job that I'm in now, because I am so passionate about it and the people I work with are wonderful. But I'm also like super excited because I've been working towards getting a director role. So the fact that I've actually achieved it, I'm just super excited. But I'm also super terrified because it is a director role and it is a brand new role. So it's up to me to kind of figure it out and make it work. So it's just like a whole bunch of emotions. But overall, I think I'm just super excited. And I'm going to stop yapping for a bit, but I will mention that I left it in that you saw me grab a jar and then put it back. And that's because I almost accidentally dipped in my white instead of capping in clear. And I have actually done that before.
Invincible.
I went ahead and capped my glitter nails in clear, activated. I filed and buffed everything off camera. So here's how the mani's looking. So you can see it's not thick at all. It's super smooth, super easy. So now we're going to get into just some simple nail art. So I do have these stickers from Betsy, which I thought were super cute and super springy. So I decided I wanted to use them for this set. So I'm just using my nail art tweezers. So I get these off of Amazon. I'll leave that linked down below in the description as well. So I'm just very carefully peeling off the stickers. So they're super thin, so you want to make sure you're being very careful. If you have difficulty getting them off the sheet, make sure you're folding that paper a little bit just so you could get a little leverage and get your tweezer kind of at that edge of the sticker to peel it up. And then I'm going to figure out where I want to place it on my nail. And I did fight with the stickers a little bit. I find the most difficult part of stickers is once you have it placed, is actually getting it to stick on your nail, because you don't have a free hand to kind of hold it in place. So I'm trying to use like an extra finger to try to stick it on the nail so I can remove the tweezers. So yeah, it becomes a bit of a struggle. But once I've got that on, I used a silicone end of that tweezer just to make sure I press down that sticker really well, because I want it to be flush with my nail. I don't want to see like ridges once I get to top coat. So I'm going to continue to apply a few stickers and then I will get into top coat. Actually, before I hop off, I did want to mention that I find that nail art stickers apply best to a dry, clean nail. So always make sure that if you're working with gels, you're removing the tacky layer. So this is right after I file and buff, so my nail is clean and smooth. I completely forgot that I actually didn't use gel top coat for this mani, so I decided I wanted to use dip top coat. So in order to use dip top coat, you need activator to dry it, but the activator would melt the stickers because the stickers are so thin. So what I'm doing here is I'm applying a thin, even layer of dip base to my entire nail over those stickers, and then I'm going to dip in my clear dip powder. I'm just pressing it in, making sure the dip base is fully absorbed, making sure that it's all covered, that it's protecting my stickers from that activator. Now, after I dust off the excess powder using a stiff scrub brush, I can activate and do just a quick buff, but I decided it was such a thin layer of clear and it didn't really impact the look. I decided I didn't need to do any buffing, so I'm going to go ahead and apply my final layer of activator to all my nails, and then I'm going to wait a full 2 minutes, and then I'll get into my dip top coat. After 2 minutes, my activator is fully dry, so now I'm ready to get into my first layer of dip top coat. So I'm applying it in 2 to 3 really quick swipes on each nail. I'm making sure to wipe my brush on a lint-free wipe after each nail to make sure I'm removing any excess activator so I don't contaminate my bottle of top coat. And then once I'm done with my 5th nail, I'll be ready to go in with my 2nd layer of dip top coat. And I know it's ready because my top coat looks a little dull, a little bit wrinkly. So for my 2nd layer, I'm making sure I'm covering my entire nail. I've got a good coverage on everything, and I'm also capping my free edge to help with longevity. as always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. So I'm using my Scales of Mermaid Cuticle Balm. This is in one of the newest released scents, Don't Go Breakin My Heart. This is a limited edition scent, so I highly recommend you go run and get this. It's got a really sweet candy-like scent to it, and I have been obsessed with it. I mean, I love the cuticle balms because they're just so hydrating and they're non-greasy, but this scent, it is so good. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I just wanted to do a quick, pretty spring mani with you. These colors from West Coast Dips are just so beautiful, and wanted to chat with you a little bit about what's been going on in my life, and hopefully it won't impact anything. Hopefully this new job will be a great new change, but just wanted to give a heads up just in case, just because I just don't know, and I'm a little nervous about it. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this. And it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.